Hi, my name's Jacob and I'm from a small game development team here in Australia. There are 4 of us and we're working on a game called Grow. We like to think Grow is a really cool concept. It's probably easiest described as a combination between Pokemon and Team Fortress 2, but it's very different than both of those games. It's a game about growing up in the weirdness of nature. Grow is still very early in development. I think we said it was about 20% finished. The core of the game is there, but it doesn't look that fancy yet. So what we thought we'd do is make this little video to help explain exactly what makes Grow cool and why we think it'd be a good part of the Sense of Wonder night. Grow is an online multiplayer game where players join teams and battle it out as weird and adorable creatures. The cool part is that every player starts as a tiny little baby creature that needs to grow up to really be a help to their team. At the moment we have just the one baby character called a Nom, but the Nom can grow into a bunch of new species based on what kind of food he eats around the level. For example, if a Nom eats a lot of meat, he gets big, fat and carnivorous, becoming a Growl. So the first part of playing Grow is growing, but to do that, you need to eat. As you can see here, players can pick up and chomp down on food around the level by hurriedly pressing the E button. If they don't eat the food, they'll balance it in their mouths and walk around. If you press the attack button when the character has food in its mouth, it will spit it out at enemies to deal damage. With a lot of players, this can become a bit like a food fight, with cakes and chickens flying through the air. Characters will eventually be able to grow plants that produce food, helping them and their teammates grow faster and making the level more beautiful. We want our game to be a bit like a nature documentary, showing all the weirdness of nature. We think we're getting close to that. We currently have 10 characters, all of whom are very different and very weird. All the characters behave differently. Some characters can swim, while other characters sink like stones and drown. Some jump really high and some float down to the ground. Some characters can spit goo that heals their friends, or a poisonous gas that can block off pathways or create cover. Some characters shoot balls of goo that can stick to a floor like a mine. Other characters charge in with powerful bites or vacuum enemies into their mouths and eat them whole. Most of the characters are placeholders at the moment, with old models and old animations. We've been working hard to make new, high-quality models that have a lot of personality and are super fun to play as. Each character will handle very differently. Here's a comparison between our old Growl and our new one. I hope this shows how great all the new characters are going to look when they're done. So what makes the game interesting? I think that the growing mechanic allows for new and interesting gameplay, and that the themes we're exploring can lead to a lot of really fun experiences. At the moment, most cooperative online games are first-person shooters, which aren't particularly interesting. We can see a lot of demand out there for an online game that's really different, silly and fun, and can be picked up and played whenever. A game that allows players to have positive experiences with friends and total strangers alike. Grow will hopefully be a fresh concept that enlightens online multiplayer in the industry. When we first decided to make Grow, we decided that the goal was simply fun. We wanted playing the game to feel like a party or a really big balloon fight. We wanted people running around everywhere, flinging water at each other, balls of goo landing with big splats on the floors and the walls. We wanted there to be silly poses and hats and lots of cool interaction between different characters. We think we're already getting pretty close to that. Teamwork is a big part of Grow. Not many cooperative games these days really emphasise teamwork, and most players still focus on achieving an objective on their own. With the unique mechanics in Grow, we're hoping to encourage teamwork by making teaming up much more interesting and beneficial than going out alone. The growing mechanic itself is a unique way to bring in teamwork. Players struggle to stay alive and become stronger. If they die, they need the help and protection from their teammates to help them grow and strong again, and we're making it beneficial and lots of fun for players to protect their baby teammates. Many characters' abilities are capable of helping out teammates as well as hindering enemies. For more information on specific character abilities, read the information below. Having 10 unique characters that all behave differently and deal with situations very differently is a big undertaking, especially for a team of 4. But it's also very exciting for us. By giving these characters unique personalities, we're able to add personality to a game that would otherwise wouldn't have it, and we can use that to further encourage the positive interaction I mentioned earlier. Characters all move and react very differently, sound different, and have different abilities, all which link back to a personality. We hope this will lead to a stronger connection between player and game, and in turn, other players. We're already starting to see this working in the current builds of the game. So basically, the things that we believe make Grow interesting are the growing mechanic, which leads to fresh and interesting gameplay possibilities, as well as situations and puzzles that players have never encountered before. The emphasis on teamwork and positive experiences amongst players. Rather than a focus on killing or situations that lead to rage and anger, we're setting up a world, mechanics and characters that help encourage players to communicate and interact in a constructive and distinctively fun way. Our themes, which display the weirdness and a bit of the cruelty of nature in an approachable way, leading to a very unique feeling to our game. And finally, our characters, which are generally not a big focus when designing an online game like this. Our characters add personality to the game, help encourage interesting player interaction, and also foster a stronger connection and loyalty to the game world. So Grow is only about 20% done at the moment. Last year we made a simple prototype of the game in our time outside of school and work. It won an award and got a lot of positive feedback, but we only started working on the game again a couple of months ago. Now we're working on it full time and we're moving fast. We've been replacing the old characters and making the HUD and menu, building new levels, and adding lots of new mechanics. By the time the Tokyo Game Show comes around, the game should be about 80% complete, and almost all the new characters will be in the game and will be really interesting to play as. If you'd like to know more about what we're planning for the future, have a read of all that handy text down below. We really feel like our game is a lot of fun, and it's only going to get more fun as we go. All the basic functionality is there, and we have the bases of 10 characters. Now we're going to spend time making everything feel really fun and really smooth. But the game is still very early in development. We hope with this video, and all the stuff down below, you can see the big potential Grow has to be a really interesting gaming experience. We know that you haven't had any teams from Australia over the past few years, and we'd love to be there to represent Australia at the Sense Wonder Night this year. We've all dreamed of visiting Japan and would be super happy to see our game played by everyone over there. We think that Grow would be really loved in Japan and would be a big attraction at the show. We are a bit worried, because it's a bit hard for us to show the game off to you properly because it's an online multiplayer. It's hard to see what makes a game so fun when you're playing the game with only 1 or 2 people. We'd love for you guys to join in one of our test games though, so if you think the game looks fun, please send us an email and we can organise an online game with lots of players and you can see just how crazy Grow can get. Winning the Sense of Wonder Night competition will mean so much to us, and we thank you for giving us this opportunity and taking the time to watch the video.